So I just watched the new trailer for James Gunn's new Superman movie coming out, so here's my thoughts. In a world filled with remakes and reboots of old stories, the new ones kind of, well, they suck. Not always, of course. There are the rare occasions where the retelling does hit the mark, but often they fall short of their original counterparts. And I do think I know why. Original stories are rooted in the time they're told. They pulled inspiration from real-world events that the creators of the stories were living through. Remakes, on the other hand, pull inspiration from the fictional worlds that already told those stories. And that is where I think they're going wrong. Before we dive in, I gotta say it, I'm Mickey Teller, the Masked Storyteller, and thank you for watching this video, and if you do enjoy it, please like the video and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 300 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're so close to that goal. If you help me reach it, I would be so grateful. And with that being said, let's begin. Going back to when Richard Donner's Superman hit theaters in 1978, it really wasn't just a movie. It was more of a marvel, not like Marvel Comics or Marvel movies, like a marvel, a spectacle to go see. The tagline, "You'll believe a man can fly," wasn't just hype. That was a promise. The audiences were blown away because they had never seen anything like it. The idea of a man soaring through the skies and lifting cars was groundbreaking. People were left wondering, how did you do that? How did they do that? But today, you have James Gunn's Superman coming up, and the film feels kind of like another drop in the superhero bucket. Like, I do love his inclusion of Superdog. Forgive me, I don't remember Superdog's name. If that is his name, then that's great. But you know, I love the inclusion of that. I love that it's gonna have James Gunn's quirky Superman feel to it, similar to how Guardians of the Galaxy was. But I feel like we've seen these stories. We've seen flying, we've seen punching, we've seen laser beams, and cities being destroyed countless times. Superhuman feats on screen aren't really a novelty anymore. They're kind of expected. The spectacle that once defined the genre now kind of feels mundane. Now the only thing we can really hope for is a good story, but even there, the superhero genre has been oversaturated. Like, how many iterations of Superman do we need to see? And sure, the new movies can be entertaining, but if I want a good story of Batman or Superman or Iron Man or Wonder Woman, anybody across any universe, there are thousands of them in the comics that I could just easily go read. Diving into Joseph Campbell's The Hero of a Thousand Faces, Campbell's theory of the hero's journey suggests that all great stories share a universal structure. From ancient myths to modern blockbusters, the hero embarks on an adventure, faces trials, overcomes their greatest challenge, and returns transformed. Sounds like a story we've seen over and over again, right? So here's the thing. While the structure is universal, the context itself is what makes the story feel unique. It's the cultural, social, and personal experiences that shape the journey and make it resonate with the audience. George Lucas didn't create Star Wars out of thin air. He was inspired, number one, by Campbell's hero's journey. Then, of course, samurai films, World War II dogfights, and the political unrest of the 1970s. The Empire symbolized oppressive systems, and the Rebel Alliance was the scrappy underdog fighting for freedom. It was a story deeply rooted in the real world, even if it took place in a galaxy far, far away. Now, comparing that to the not-so-well-received, very split down the middle, Disney sequel trilogy, it is entertaining in parts, but the sequels felt like they were pulling from Star Wars, rather than from anything new in the world around it. All the fresh inspiration that should have come to help these movies were replaced by nostalgic callbacks, and the story lacked the cultural fingerprint that made the originals so classic. The best original stories thrive because they're authentic. Jaws on the surface is a shark movie. But underneath that surface is a story about social fears, the tensions between economic survival and public safety, and the consequences of human arrogance in the face of nature. Remember the mayor character, how he was insisting that the beaches stay open despite the clear evidence of danger? Despite the clear evidence of something eating people in the water? Well, his decision was driven by the economic pressure to sustain the town's tourism, even at the expense of public safety. The conflict between Brody, who prioritizes protecting people, and the mayor, who prioritizes the town's finances, is a core tension in the film, capturing the universal struggle between the moral responsibility and economic interests. That's something that we can even see today. I feel like that's a topic that continuously gets brought up, and that directly inspired that situation in that movie. And we can even talk about Jurassic World from 2015. Jaws and Jurassic World both deal with the theme of man versus nature, but where Jaws feels authentic and grounded, Jurassic World leans heavily on spectacle and nostalgia. The original Jurassic Park in 1993 explored mankind's hubris, ethical dilemmas in science, and the consequences of playing God. It reflected real fears about advancements in genetics and cloning in the early 1990s. Jurassic World from 2015, on the other hand, feels kind of like a corporate-driven sequel that prioritizes bigger dinosaurs and bigger explosions. The story doesn't meaningfully build the original themes, instead it just revisits them with less depth. The Indominus Rex, the genetically engineered dinosaur, is a clear metaphor for humanity's overreach. But the film never digs into that idea the way the original did. It really does focus more on heavy action sequences, and not really so much hitting on the hard questions. So now I want to talk about why original stories still matter. And I feel funny saying that because I feel like everybody knows original stories still matter, but for some reason, Hollywood doesn't get it. I view original stories as more than just entertainment. They are entertainment, don't get me wrong, but they are deeply personal as well. Again, they're reflections of the world we live in. Films like Everything Everywhere All at Once succeeded because they're bold, creative, and deeply human. Rooted in the immigrant experience and modern existential angst, it's a story that really couldn't have been told in any other time or place. Joseph Campbell's hero's journey reminds us that storytelling isn't just about following a formula, it's about adding new meaning to that formula, and taking universal themes and making them resonate with more modern audiences. Now, there are rare exceptions, not all reboots are bad. Mad Max Fury Road is a fantastic example of how to do it right. George Miller didn't try to rehash his original films, he evolved them. The story tackled modern issues like environmental collapse, gender politics, and survival in a chaotic world. It felt fresh because it was fresh, even as it honored its roots. And I'll be honest, there's been times in the past where I've said I don't want movies to mirror what the real world is today, and I think I was an idiot for saying that because, yeah, that's what movies and stories do. Some of them just hide it a little better than others. So, to reiterate, why do remakes and reboots often suck? It's because they really miss what made the original so great: authenticity, cultural relevance, and a connection to the world the creators were living in. But here's the good news: originality isn't dead. It's still out there. If we want more bold, unique storytelling, then we need to support it. Watch indie films and read new books. Celebrate creators who take risks and challenge us to see the world differently. Because in a world of remakes and reboots, the truly original ones shine brighter than ever. Good or bad. And that's the video. I'm Mickey Teller, the Masked Storyteller, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. Jump in the comments and tell me what you think on this topic. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you think I'm a dumbass? I'm open to any of it. I really just want to engage with you all and really get a conversation going because I, for one, am kind of tired of the remakes and the reboots and the sequels, and I just want to go forward. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.